Jonah Stephen is here with me in the studio in Going Beyond. He's here to talk about the software industry, and he's been a part of that for many, many years. Thank you, Steve, for not running away out of the studio. Now, I want to ask you here about the software industry. Is it a healthy one?
Very, very healthy one from a business perspective. Only concern is the number of jobs that are going to get created in the software industry may be much less than what it had created in the past.
Why?
Because of the automation that's happening across the industry, and technology like artificial intelligence are maturing, and that's actually the machines are taking the jobs, and obviously less hands are needed to do jobs.
Right. The Indian software professional appears to have just gone all over the world, made a name for themselves. I want to ask you here, are the Indian software professionals really respected around the world?
They are respected, not just respected, I think they are celebrated.
Really?
You take the top companies in India,
Yes.
the worldwide,
Yes.
right? Be it Microsoft or Google or Adobe.
Yeah,
Many companies, they are all headed by people of Indian origin.
absolutely.
So it definitely, I think they are not just thriving and growing, but they are actually being celebrated, and I think they are changing the world today. Indian IT professionals are changing the world for good.
Right. But you were talking just now about there's going to be a shortage of jobs that are available. So there's a lot of young people in our country who just hanker for jobs in the IT industry. So what do you think as a future prospect for them? Where do you see them going?
I think there are many jobs, but they are not going to come in volumes that the way it had come in the 2000 to 2010. So the numbers are going to be limited, but they are going to be very high paying. They are going to be very highly qualified jobs. So I'm just concerned about the numbers.
Right. I am concerned that there have been many a time where I have, in the course of my work, encountered software professionals. Most of them are very eloquent, speak very well, but there's a lot of, I suppose those are the techie people who must be very, very good in their work, but in terms of communication skills and other things that are very valuable in this day and age. So do you think that's a slight bit of a drawback here?
Yes, traditionally we are not a community or a country
Of communicators.
Of people, we encourage communication. A father says, don't talk too much. The mother says be quiet, right? Just obey. So as a culture, we grow our children as a very obedient, just follow the instructions and don't talk much, do your job kind of attitude, and the teachers, the parents, everybody actually sets the environment for that. But when they get in the work, right, when they get into work, they are expected to do the opposite of that, and that's very difficult.
Right.
And more so today because of the globalization, they are guys from any small town. When they get to a job, they work with somebody from some other part of the world who is actually best in that across the world. So now you are comparing you against somebody best in Poland or UK or the US, right? So you have to be the best.
Right. It must be rather hard for a young man, say from a rural background, to be suddenly thrown into a culture that is absolutely not his own.
Yes.
And I often wonder, it must be quite a struggle for those young people to succeed. Have you seen that happening a lot, Stephen?
I have seen that wherever the old Chinese proverb helps, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So the kids who come from struggling environment, from rural background, they are more open to learning, and they are open to listening, and they actually are able to thrive, and they are able to get on with and be successful as well. I think the more problems come with kids who are already doing good, who are probably brought up in the metropolitan cities of India. and they are actually little bit struggling because
they are closed probably
they're closed
to change.
And they already seen what is possible in their own communities, and they are actually challenged internationally in a way, because they don't want to learn. They think they know something, and that's a problem.
Right. From my limited experience, I have seen that social graces can sometimes be quite an issue.
Yes.
Has that been your experience, Dave?
It is actually, yes, in the very early stages of IT. If you go to 1990s, you know, social graces were something that people didn't know what to expect from an kind of Indian diaspora or Indian citizen.
Should I shake the lady's hand,
yes,
or shouldn't I? Should
but
I
today
talk first?
They already know that, you know, we do that to the nose, and we sneeze, and you know, we do different things, you know, which they already know about us very well. It's all documented in Quora and everywhere.
So they're used to us now.
You can go to YouTube and see how an Indian works, and you know, a lot of funny videos. So you get a perspective, right? So all that is possible today. But yes, you know, if you're talking at a very high level where you're meeting executives and dealing with that kind of training is still not available. So you need to learn how to do that.
Right. I'd like to ask you your thoughts about the fact that we see young people these days who appear to keep jumping from one company to the other in a very short space of time. I mean, 1 year doesn't seem like a long time for them to be with one company. Now, what is the reason for this, Stephen? I'm very interested to hear your explanation. Is it money? Is it what?
I think when we grew up in an environment where we were told that, you know, you just do what the company says to do, and you just follow the instructions, and you know, you be loyal to the business, and you do what you have to do. The individual was not very important. The employee was not, sometimes even doesn't matter. The business matters. So you do the right thing for the business. But in the last 20-25 years, the world has changed so much. All the power is with the individual, right? Today, your email has more space than the email that the company can provide. And because of the internet and because of democratization of businesses and new startups, you don't have to rely on a large company to get what you want. As long as you are happy, you can work in a small business, you can make the money, and you can also get what you want.
Does the company feel a bit troubled when these kids keep dropping out and going to yet another company? Well, the attrition rate is pretty high.
Yes, yes. I think it is. It's a learning process. So good companies are already changing their process, changing their engagement model with the staff, and they are actually doing good. But you know, average companies or below average companies, they are struggling to tackle this issue.
Right. Steve, it's time for us to go for another short break. We'll take a very, very quick few minutes away from you, but please don't go anywhere.